Hi there, folks. Well, we've been talking about uncertainty and the subconscious urge to create certainty in our lives because it makes us feel safe. Well, one of the ways we can do it is through this urge, this need to be right. And this can come up in many forms. It can come up when you're sitting around with a bunch of people and they share an idea, a different belief system. It might be politics, religion, it might be a way of doing things in business. It might even be a day-to-day thing. How you raise your children. And what happens is we want to be right, so we may even use anger. It can be used as a great sort of hammer to punch our idea into the other person's camp and make sure that it stays there so we are right. And what can happen through this process is it can prevent us from learning different perspectives, it can break down relationships, it can increase conflict. And before we know it, we're feeling that we're even more uncertain than we were before, and this can drive even more anger, and it's kind of this spiral downwards. So I feel using awareness, one of the most important things is to notice this need to be right. In small conversations, if you feel you need to correct another person, does it really matter? Does it make a difference to that person? Maybe we're just doing it because our intention is to feel secure and self-worth around it. Well, then let it go. When we go onto social media, notice the urge to want to get involved in the trolling and the anger that is thrown around there because everybody wants to be right, and the fear behind this is punching those ideas across in a really unkind way. To let go of that, to not even really look at the comments. It may be that we have to look at our anger, especially when the anger is welling up. And anger is very hard to deal with because as we're going into anger, we're already losing cognitive function. Our left prefrontal cortex is losing its reasoning. So the idea is to either get out of there if possible, as quick as possible if you can. But what I work with is breathing. Even when I'm in that position where the people are around me and I feel this anger welling up, is to go to my breathing. I pay attention to my breathing and quietly take a deep breath and work with some deep breaths, 2 or 3 or 4. And as I do this, I feel my body settled. And if I can move away from it or just quietly not do anything about it, to let go of my urge to be right. And it's amazing how much energy I conserve through this, because anger is when we're just flinging this energy out there and it's not building anything in our lives, it's destroying. So through this process, I feel I reclaim a lot of energy, and it gets easier and easier because our neural pathways start getting used to this concept of it's okay not to always be right. And who says I am always right? And that's not a self-doubt thing, that's a secure thing. When I say to myself, I don't know everything and I've got stuff to learn, it comes from a place of security. I may be more open to being wrong. And yes, folks, these are just some ideas. So over the next week, pay attention to the urge to get angry, the urge to be right. See if you can do what we call a not doing, or stop it, where you just don't do anything around it. Maybe just listen instead, do some breathing around any anger, do your best not to react, and see how it goes for you. And until we chat again, take care and stay aware.